Hats off to the Eagles, man. They got after us, all three phases.
What was the difference in the game, do you think, at the end of the day?
I mean, couldn't get it going offensively. I mean, they just got after us on all three phases, and then on top of that, turnovers, penalties, playing behind the sticks on offense is just drop passes, not taking advantage of, the play call and executing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. You don't lose like that without everything going bad. So.
Philadelphia Eagles crushed the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. The tone was set early for the Chiefs after Taylor Swift was viciously booed by Eagles fans when she was first shown on the Jumbotron. It was a sign of things to come during the game. On the field, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce produced some of the worst games of their careers and were left teary together after the loss. Philadelphia fans kept their energy up throughout the game and made a sizable impact on the Chiefs' offense with their noise levels. The Eagles came out strong in the first quarter, stunning the Chiefs' defense. Despite a controversial offensive pass interference penalty on the opening drive, the Eagles rebounded to score the opening touchdown of the game on the tush push. The Chiefs got 2 offensive drives in the opening quarter, but failed to make an impression against a dominant Eagles defense that constantly put pressure on Mahomes. Mahomes also struggled to find a rhythm with his receivers, just missing multiple guys and nearly getting picked off. The momentum could have swung right back into the Chiefs' favor immediately into the second half after Jalen Hurts launched an ill-advised pass downfield that was intercepted by Brian Cook. However, the Eagles' defense flexed their muscles and didn't allow the Chiefs a first down. In fact, rookie cornerback Cooper DeJean snagged an errant Mahomes pass and took it all the way to the house for a pick six, increasing the Eagles' advantage to 17-0 halfway through the second quarter. Mahomes caught the interception bug in the second quarter, throwing a second interception, this time to linebacker Zach Bond. The Eagles capitalized on this by immediately scoring on a touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. The first half was as shocking as it could get, with the Eagles leading 24-0 going into the locker room. Kansas City chose to defer after winning the coin toss, giving them an opportunity to set the tone to start the second half. Clearly, they didn't make the right adjustments during halftime, though, as the Eagles continued to get pressure on Mahomes. The story of the game was the Chiefs' inability to protect Mahomes. They allowed 6 sacks over the course of the game, and their quarterback could never get comfortable in the pocket. After halftime, the Eagles' lead was simply insurmountable for the Chiefs. Philadelphia's lead was as large as 34-0 in the third quarter, a lead that not even Tom Brady could overcome. His legendary comeback in Super Bowl 51 was from a 28-3 deficit. It was such a blowout that backup quarterback Kenny Pickett played the final minutes of the game to seal the victory for the Eagles. Mahomes was a shell of himself during Super Bowl 59, passing for 257 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but most of those numbers came after the game was already over. His accuracy was all over the place, and he looked unconfident during the entire game. Kelce was just as bad, catching just 4 passes for 39 yards. Not everyone on the Chiefs had an awful game, though. Rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy did his best to dig Kansas City out of their deep hole. He caught 8 passes for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the other side of the game, the Eagles had playmakers all over the field. Everything flowed through Hurts, who passed for 221 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. He was also a menace on the ground, running for 72 yards with another touchdown. Wide receivers Devon Smith and A.J. Brown also feasted on the Chiefs' defense. Smith had 69 yards and a touchdown, while Brown went for 43 yards and a touchdown. Defensive players also went off for the Eagles. Josh Sweat sacked Mahomes twice, and Milton Williams got to him twice as well. Saquon Barkley had a quiet game compared to the rest of his playoff run, rushing for just 57 yards with no touchdowns. The Eagles will now celebrate their Super Bowl victory in the Big Easy after a dominant win over the Chiefs. No player in 59 seasons has racked up as many receptions as Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has in the Super Bowl. Kelce, on his third catch Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles, surpassed Hall of Famer Jerry Rice for the most catches in Super Bowl history. Though the record was soured as it came in the fourth quarter of a 40-22 loss, Heading into Super Bowl 59, Kelce had 31 receptions through his first 4 Super Bowls and needed 3 to get by Rice's 33, whose total came in 4 total Super Bowls with the San Francisco 49ers. He finished the game with 4 catches for 39 yards. Although Kelce took a game longer, it's hard to argue how impressive a feat it is for the tight end to hurdle the greatest wide receiver's record in the biggest game of them all. Earlier this postseason, Kelce broke another one of Rice's playoff records, posting a 117-yard receiving game in the divisional round win over the Houston Texans. It was Kelce's 9th 100-yard playoff game, breaking a tie with Rice for the most all-time. Inarguably one of the finest postseason players in NFL Chronicle, Kelce entered Sunday with 350 Super Bowl receiving yards, 4th in history, 174 postseason catches, 1st, 2,039 postseason receiving yards, 2nd, and 20 receiving touchdowns, 2nd. Forever cemented in Super Bowl lore, Kelce has added another record to his collection, even in a losing cause. It's a Brother Bowl rematch, but this time one's on the sidelines. Despite his long career playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelce made it clear he's rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs at Super Bowl 2025 with a well-placed and Taylor Swift-approved accessory. The retired NFL superstar, 37, was spotted at Caesars Superdome wearing a red and gold bead friendship bracelet that appeared to spell out Big Yeti, brother Travis Kelce's nickname. Jason also fully leaned into the big game's host city of New Orleans with his king cake, season graphic, and layered party necklaces. Aside from that, it's a far more casual look than the one Jason chose for last year's big game, where the Chiefs played the 49ers. Red and gold checkered overalls adorned with a Chiefs team patch and paired with a Big Yeti t-shirt. The loud look was designed to help Jason keep his cool after he went viral for ripping his shirt off at the Chiefs vs. Bills game earlier in the 2024 season. Kelce joked that he chose the coveralls so he wouldn't be urged to disrobe. "I think he's moved on from that," wife Kylie Kelce said on a recent episode of her podcast, not going to lie, referring to the moment when he got swept up with Bills fans. Kylie, for her part, has said she would never wear clothes supporting a team other than the Eagles. This year, the couple announced they'd be leaving their 3 daughters home to root for Uncle Trav from afar. "I think it's a little bit controversial, but even during regular season games, I don't take the girls to every game. They're still very young," Kylie, 31, explained in an interview. "A stadium with thousands of people can be overwhelming, and there's 3 of them. It can get hectic. It's just a lot." Indeed, tonight's suite includes Travis' girlfriend Taylor Swift, who brought along Dad Scott and brother Austin, plus pals including Ice Spice, Ashley Avignon, and the Ham sisters. Travis' parents, Donna and Ed Kelce, were also in attendance. Last year, Jason said the vibes in his family's Super Bowl suite were overwhelming. "There were so many star-studded people there where it's like, dude, everyone wants to come and see her, but the suite's only so big," he said. "It was overwhelming, to be honest with you. It was very overwhelming." This year, Jason is one of the most popular people in New Orleans, having hosted his own star-studded party on Thursday ahead of the big game. The dream of a three-peat is over as the Kansas City Chiefs fell victim to revenge, losing Super Bowl 59 to the Philadelphia Eagles in a 40-22 blowout. In a one-sided affair, the firepower of the Eagles' offense and the discipline of the Eagles' defense stifled a winning effort from Kansas City. Both sides were forced to punt to start their first drives of the game. On the Eagles' second drive of the game, Trent McDuffie was called for a highly questionable DPI call on 3rd down, mirroring a questionable OPI call on A.J. Brown earlier in the game. The refs, even if awful, were consistent. That would lead to a Jahan Dotson catch at the 1-yard line. Jalen Hurts would punch it in to score the opening touchdown of the game via the brotherly shove. A ferocious 4-man pass rush would leave KC scoreless in the first quarter. That swarming pass rush continued to plague the Chiefs to the point that Creed Humphrey had some animated words for his offensive line. Those words did not inspire improved play, as continued pressure, with the Eagles having 7 in coverage, led to a pick-6 thrown to Cooper DeJean and another to Zach Bond that led to a Brown touchdown. Things did not improve in the third quarter as the Eagles kept the pressure up, and a Jalen Hurts bomb to Devonta Smith saw Philadelphia up 34-0. Mahomes came out swinging with a rocket ball to Xavier Worthy, despite a constant attack by the Eagles. Mahomes was able to work some magic, including a shuffle pass under duress to Travis Kelce for a first down. After getting swarmed, Mahomes rolled out to his right and fired across his body, hitting a diving Xavier Worthy in the end zone for the Chiefs' first points of the game. The Chiefs then went for two and failed. Mahomes targeted Kelce again, but the legendary tight end is showing his age. Entering the fourth, it could be the last quarter in his Hall of Fame career. Unfortunately, the fourth quarter did not start the way the Chiefs needed it to. The Eagles burned over 5 minutes of clock before Jake Elliott added 3 points to the scoreboard. Eagles lead 37-6. Travis Kelce and teammates entered the locker room after the game between the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, February 9th. Travis Kelce and his Chiefs teammates attended the Super Bowl at Caesars Superdome. However, after the game ended, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes were seen entering the Chiefs' locker room. After the game ended, Kansas City got off to a very slow start Sunday against the Eagles, especially the duo of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. The Chiefs fired on their first 2 pass attempts, including on a 3rd and 3 in the second quarter that led to a punt. Midway through the second quarter, Kansas City had just 1 first down and 26 yards with no points in 3 possessions as Philadelphia opened a 10-0 lead. Things got worse later in the second quarter as Mahomes tossed a pick-six to Cooper DeJean.